luxurious, not really, standard hotel room in Seattle, Washington. I am here this week for 365 EduCon, formerly SharePoint Fest, and Power Platform Fest, EduCon, something. Anyway, so this conference, I'm doing a couple workshops and 3 sessions. So love being able to travel and be in person at conferences. I know there are some in the world, many who can't do that, Darrell. But and so therefore, I know I am blessed to be able to do this, and I am excited. I
Well, at
do have
least you're
stickers
eating
too.
well,
So,
though. I mean, you had a good pasta, you had a good coffee.
yes, I found great food. I found actually Seattle has coffee shops that are not Starbucks. It's amazing. I know. I know. There's a Starbucks on every corner, and I'm not lying. I'm not even making that
Mm.
up. But I actually found a coffee shop that wasn't Starbucks.
Tim
So it was in
Hortons?
the middle. The Starbucks are on the corners, and in the middle of the block is where the Starbucks are.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
But it's going to
Anyway.
be a good week. That's good.
Mhm.
This is one of the weeks where I'm not getting up at a silly, strange hour of the morning to present to a group of people across the world.
Yeah,
Um,
you had some wonderful presentations and stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah, it was good. It was really good to connect with people, and
mhm.
even like in the what was it last one that I did? Virtual marathon. It finished early the session before, and I got to chat with people beforehand, warming up the room and having
Nice,
a good chat. It was great.
nice.
All right. Well, we're at time. Let's kick into the intro. What? Rocking out, rocking out. Oh, yeah. Hey, welcome to the 365 Mesa Center Show. We'll help you plan for change, prevent or fix, stay informed. Daniel joining us from Seattle.
Yes, it's terribly exciting.
It is. I
No,
mean,
I'm excited. Like I said on the before on the in the green room that I'm in Seattle, Washington for 365 EduCon and formerly SharePoint Fest, and I'm excited to be here and excited to be able to see people in person. And if you happen to be at the conference or in Seattle, find me. I have stickers,
you got
and
stickers.
I do not want to go home with them. So
I was going to bring them out and show you the example, but I'm actually kind of wearing one.
yes, you are
Exclusive.
indeed.
Yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting round of messages of all kinds across
Mhm.
different services. All kinds meaning some kind of quite reactive, very rapid. Yeah. But shall we get into this first one, which is a historical issue, hasn't it been, Daniel? How to do with that? Historical.
Historical. Yes, thank
Mm,
you. You did a great job there of trying to
trying
do
very
a
hard.
transition. So this is yes, it is all about history. Site template history panel MC371265. So in SharePoint, you are able to apply a template after the site is created, which brings in resources and can change the look of your pages. The easiest concept to get, you can go to the lookbook.microsoft.com and you can see those and apply one of those templates to your sites. It actually creates the site and then applies the template. But then you can also apply templates afterwards. When you're on the site, you can apply a template. And the concept, though, is that you can actually apply a template again and again and again.
Well, that happens, Daniel. Sometimes it's about trying on clothes and does this look good? No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yes, but sometimes you get it set up the way you want to, and then you realize, wait, something just happened. And what happened? So this is functionality that will allow site owners to be able to figure out what happened. It'll be rolling out for targeted release mid-May and will complete early June, and then standard release mid-June through the end of June. And so you'll be able to go to the site information panel, and then there will be a link, a view template history link. And when you do that, a template history panel will be shown, and it'll show what template was applied. This again, after the site is created, you can apply these templates, what template was applied and who applied it and when. So this can help you get a little bit of information on what happened, why is my site looking different, or, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be a negative thing. It could be something like, oh, this is a cool site. Someone applied this template to the site we're owners to. What template did they apply? I want to apply it somewhere else. So you'll be able to see that as well.
Well, I got a question here, Daniel. Like, if it was the former reason, not the latter, oh my, it has been changed a few times. Does this somewhere talk about being able to restore back to that previous version? Wonder what's behind this arrow here.
I think that arrow is to, I don't know. And this is, I think, okay. I think that arrow is going to take you to that template and show you that template, but I do not think it's going to allow you to roll back. That is not, I do not believe that is the case here. And I've heard of no talk about that. Now, I've heard people asking for something like that, but I've not heard talk of actually implementing.
Right. That's the first step, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's all
conjecture.
Conjecture. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're good at that. But we do a good job too of telling people when it's our opinion. We're 100%. Guessing here. Yeah.
100% we're guessing.
Yep. Something that we're not guessing about, Daniel, is a new control for Microsoft Loop, turning the ability to have Loop components on in your environment. It's a new Admin PowerShell control, MC371268. There was a control, if I go a little further down here, and it was more about doing it from a SharePoint point of view, is fluid enabled. And that's how you might have turned it on or off and prevented Loop components from being used in your environment. It has a bit of control over, of course, loops are stored on OneDrive and eventually SharePoint, so this would control that. But this PowerShell command is being superseded by is loop enabled. So that is rather than is fluid enabled, is loop enabled. Maybe it's just a change in the name of the command. Maybe there's absolutely no difference, but that is something becoming available soon. So no automatic change in your environment. You can turn off loop components by using the example commands down the bottom here. Is loop enabled? True or false? Oh, what's this other one here?
They're going to turn it off, though, right?
The older one?
The fluid one, they're turning it off, right?
Yep, that's right. You have to update your SharePoint module to get it because it's a new set of commands. Maybe there's some other stuff in there too with that update, but yeah. Learn more about it at the link. Changes will take approximately 6 minutes across your tenancy. So if you are planning to turn off loop components, then it'll take a little while. But that's about it. Let's move on to the next message. Can't get creative with this one.
Before we talk about the customer lockbox, let's make sure that everyone is following us on socials. We are 365 MCS on all the socials. Make sure you follow us and go ahead and share the URL of this video or audio podcast on social and tag us so that we can amplify your message. Also, make sure you give us a thumbs up on this episode. It helps other people find this episode if you give it a thumbs up. throw your comments and chat in. We'd love to have conversation with you there as well. So please engage with us. We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
This one is Customer Lockbox for Microsoft Power Platform is now available for public preview, MC373056. This was, and if you're familiar with the Lockbox functionality, which is making sure that you have to allow Microsoft engineers access to your content. So it is a way of preventing another layer of preventing. Microsoft does have policies and procedures in place to prevent their engineers from seeing your data without your permission. However, this is another layer of preventing that. And we've seen this with previous implementation, SharePoint, Teams a month or two ago, Exchange for sure. And so now for the Power Platform, this is available now in public preview and will be in general availability soon-ish. But if you want to use this, you can review the documentation so you can get up to speed on how this is supported for organizations.
Check this out, Daniel. Very specifically, with the exception of Korea and Norway, once these regions are enabled, the message will be updated. So,
yes, it is. It is public preview is available except for those regions. Not sure why, but it's just.
Do they have their own data centers here? Korea? I don't think so.
I would believe so.
Maybe that is it.
Maybe that is it. Yeah, I just don't know.
Okay.
But so it's available now. So if you're interested in utilizing it if you're a Power Platform customer and you're moving data, you're receiving data, definitely look into this. And together, we will
have some comfort.
We'll be more secure when we're all together.
Yeah, there's a trust involved there. There's also for everyone. Yeah, let me view that. Loosely trying
to get you to the next message.
This message, which is not related to Power Platform or
it's not.
Lockboxes. It's a Microsoft Teams message all about together mode and being able to control and view together mode for everyone. This is MC373879. Kind of feel like we sort of had something like this, so just read through it. That when you go to turn on together mode, it'll be for all participants in the meeting. I'm saying this out loud now. I feel like when we've played with it as a team and someone turns it on, oh, no. I know what it is. I'm getting this confused. Okay, so turning it on for everyone is something new. Changing the theme is something that happens for everyone. So I know this because we often use together mode in our weekly stand-ups, and someone might not turn it on, but we usually try and go through a check-in based on the order of the together mode, because together mode's order is the same for everyone. Whereas if you just jump into a regular grid, the order of your people on that grid might be different. So we find that if we use together mode, we can rifle them through. Well, this will ensure that everyone goes into together mode and we can all see that experience. This is going to be rolling out in late May. Expect to complete rollout mid-June for standard release, and GCC rolling out mid-June, complete mid-July. Select together mode for everyone.
Yeah, and there's a checkbox there at the bottom to be able to do that. I'm going to be a Debbie Downer here a little bit. I don't like other people being able to change the view that I'm looking at.
Right.
I just don't. It should ask me for consent. You know what I mean? Like, ask me if I want to switch so-and-so and tell me who's doing it so I can tell them to stop doing it. Because if they keep doing it and it keeps prompting me. But I would like to to be able to say no. I switch back. Maybe give me a prompt that says so-and-so switched you to together mode. Congratulations. Click here to switch back.
Well, where that takes effect too is if you're using Spotlight and you're wanting to highlight a speaker or a couple of people in that meeting, when you're in together mode, that has no effect. Spotlight just disappears. So what if you prefer to see Spotlight? Yeah. I haven't seen this option before. Maybe I just haven't looked close enough, but assigning seats. Is that new?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it before. Those that are in chat, maybe you can give us a comment in there if you've seen that, but I don't think I've seen that.
I have played a little, tried to dig in and look at creating our own scene, but yeah, that could be interesting.
So I think the thing here is, please, Microsoft, give us that capability to say, please switch back. I don't want this together mode. It is. I'm not trying to say, people don't want to be part of the team, and like what you were just saying, I think it's a great use case. But sometimes, you're wanting to view the grid, and you just like it that way. You want to see. I tell people this all the time. I'm not a huge fan of Teams backgrounds. Only, but it just becomes a distraction more than a help. So I did onboarding. We talked about this on the show. I did onboarding here recently, and I told them, okay, we have company backgrounds, and if you want to use them, that's fine. I prefer blur. If you don't want people seeing what's going on, just blur it, and that's fine. But I just don't like the backgrounds because it's just distracting. Because people are like, "What is that thing over there?" I'm like, "Is that a table?" And you have a cat on your table. Oh wow! Is that a real cat? Is this a background? I mean,
it's a background.
No. Let's focus on the people.
Yeah.
Let's engage with people and engage with what's going on and being said rather than what is in the background. Anyway,
I find virtual backgrounds distracting for a different reason. Varying lighting conditions affect the successfulness of how that background is applied, and often I'll see people's arms and heads and faces all go disappearing and reappearing, and it's just something you've just come to accept. Whereas blur is that middle ground where you're still protecting your background in a privacy sense. But I know that blurry thing that no longer is part of your person is no longer in focus. Like,
I get what you mean. I understand what you're saying.
Gone to some crazy depth of field,
I understand. Yes, I understand what you're saying. I agree. I feel like anyway. So when it applies to this together mode, it's like great, but now you're putting people are different sizes.
Yeah, that's fun too.
Because some are like this, and some are way back here.
Some like the seats are right here, right?
Right, and so it's another distraction. In some cases, it works great, and I'm not saying don't ever use it. It's just, again, I feel like I need that button to say nope, revert me back. I don't. I would rather it say, do you want to switch? And I can say no. But if you're going to make me switch, have a prompt that says, do you switch back now? Count it down, with a 5-second countdown, or I don't know.
Like something. When you change your resolution, do you want to switch back?
Exactly. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Done to death.
Yes, we're done. Done with the
All right. Let's move on to Outlook.
Let's book it. Let's book it and move on. Outlook personal bookings page, MC375741. So bookings
0
in Outlook. What did I say? Did I say 1?
741.
Oh my goodness. Why did I say that?
I'm totally lost now. I don't know where to find this message. Hang on. Let me just.
I got to start over. I got to start over.
Okay.
It's the jet lag. Lag.
It is a jet lag.
Outlook personal bookings page, MC375740. This is bookings in Outlook is coming for personal users. So meaning individual users, not a team bookings, but individual users when your organizations, so that one-on-one meetings could be booked just really according to your preferences, and you can set, I'm willing to meet within these times, and here's my preferences, and so people can book my time, right? And this is going to be for everyone that has a license in like the normal kind of the A3, A5, E's, the E1, E3, E5, F1, F3,
Whoa.
and then the Microsoft 365 equivalents. So if you have so all of those, and then business basic, business standard, business premium. I mean, basically, if you have a combo license, right? A combo license that has those multiple services like that, then you're getting this. And I love this. And I'm going to give you an example of really why I love it. But I do want to mention that a targeted release will begin rolling out early June, expected to be done by mid-June, so pretty quick. And then for standard release, mid-June through late June. And 100%, you need to educate your users on how to use this, because this is going to be like one of those normal adoption campaigns where if you don't educate and enable and get your power, those ninjas or those change agents in your organization trained up, then the first experience that people have with this is people are going to be able to schedule meetings when normally they won't want them scheduled, but they didn't go in and set the preferences right. They didn't do things right. And they're going to hate this, right? So we don't want that. So we need to make sure we're managing change here. Now, I like this a lot because there's so much of this conversation that goes back and forth of, would you be available these days? Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I'd be available these days or these times. But then the lag between when you said yes and when they actually booked it is long enough for someone else to come in and book during that time.
Yeah.
And then now the original person goes, okay, and they send you a meeting invite and you're like, actually declined because I'm no longer available. You should have booked it the minute I sent you an email. And coming from someone who now, unfortunately, I have very little time in my day when I don't have meetings, and I don't like it, and I'm trying to change that. But this is a game changer in that I don't have to be involved, right?
Yeah.
You cut out I was about to say you cut out the middleman, but you cut out like 50% of the work of trying to engage with someone, and you just go and book it. What do you think? Have you dealt with bookings, and what are your thoughts on bookings?
Early on, early on it was set up for our team. In fact, it was near the beginning of the first lockdown we experienced in here with COVID, and we were looking to try and make sure that our team was available for clients and that was transparent, so that people could book and quickly get some time with us, and we could help them, and there wasn't that delay in to and fro. So it is of most benefit to people, your contacts outside booking and being able to connect with you and getting your time. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd still in two minds about exposing my calendar to the point where I could be just taking meetings automatically and not be part of that process. I think there's somewhere in there though, Daniel, isn't there, where you can say you still have to approve a booking? I
Yeah,
think so.
and I mean, you have control over the time of day, and be able to say, maybe you're willing to say my afternoons
Yeah.
are available for people to book, but not my mornings.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, so I think if you can finally tune it, it could be a great resource for you. It doesn't have to be for everyone, okay? But I think for some organizations, it could really be a game changer in saving time of this back and forth trying to figure out when we can meet together. When can I book some 15 minutes of your time? Oh my goodness, just open up my calendar.
Yep.
So anyway, I think it could help.
Yeah.
I
Well,
hope. I hope it'll help.
I think it will. But yeah, good advice about giving some guidance and how to set that up so that people aren't open to taking meetings way
Well, I
outside of
want
their boundaries.
right, and I wonder if there's any new things out there in the Outlook world, that we should,
There are, Daniel. There are. Naughty, naughty. There has been a leaked build of the new One Outlook that has got out, and people have been installing it and reacting to it, but it's not quite there yet, right, people? So this is often the case when there's a leaked build or something. So in very quick time, once this link for downloading the build was made available publicly, there became a message shortly in that afternoon saying that, let's read it out. Some users can access unsupported early test versions of the new Outlook for Windows MC376710. Well, probably, I'm hoping, probably Microsoft are hoping they'll never have to write a title like that again. But it's just that build got out. It is eventually going to be available for organizations or individuals that are using the beta channel for updates. The short description of this is that it's a lot like Outlook Web Access, but to give organizations some control over whether or not they're ready for that and whether they want their people to be able to download this build and try it out, they've introduced a PowerShell command. So check this message out if you're an organization that wants to also just, hey, slow down, be patient, wait till it's actually available, thanks. You can control whether this new client will be able to connect to your Exchange environments. And yeah, I mean, there'll be probably a few that might want to disable it for a single user or for their whole organization. You make your choice. Probably the second one will be the safest method if that's the way you're going.
Indeed.
What have you heard about?
Maybe Microsoft don't publish software on a public CDN next time.
Well, yeah, that's a good observation. That's exactly it, Daniel. The link was shared. It is available to anyone. They don't have to sign in to download it, although they do have to sign into an environment to be able to connect to it and use it. Yeah, if it was meant to be for internal purposes, probably should have been in an internal CDN. Have you heard anything more about One Outlook? And I know that there's been some publicly stuff made available.
There has been, however, I don't think it's proper to comment on some of the conjecture and some of the things that on this leaked build because it isn't final. I think it's really close. I think it's probably closer than Microsoft wants to let on, but they just because they don't want people using it.
Yeah,
this leaked version, but I don't think it's finalized.
Yeah,
I'm actually excited about it because, as I've said on the show many times, I use Outlook on the web as my primary email client. And so I'm excited that this is kind of bringing, hopefully, a revised experience of that down to my desktop. Now, I hope I don't lose the functionality in this redesign that I like about the web access and on Outlook on the web. So we'll see. I have not downloaded and I have not played with this because I was warned not to as soon as it kind of became available. So I haven't played with it. So I hope I don't lose those features like pinning and such that really are staples that I rely on. So
I think the converse of that too is that there are people who have features they depend on Outlook on desktop that they don't want to miss as well. I was looking for a different reason, and I'll just briefly flash this one up again because I like to keep some messages in my list starred so I can check back on the status. This is one which is kind of linked and related to that the loop components come into Outlook are actually due to come with the Outlook Mail preview. So with this leaked build coming out, depending on when it is available, it is actually in line with around about the timing for Loop components to become available in Outlook. So that is early May, complete late May. So sometime this month we expect to see it with the release of the Outlook desktop and current channel. So yeah, related. But if you're not keen on letting people access that super early, then jump in and use that PowerShell command. Daniel, that is the week of messages. I would like to say have a fantastic week at EduCon in Seattle.
Thank you very much. And I really hope to, for our listeners and our watchers, if you're here, please, again, I'd love to meet with you and take some selfies and give you some stickers. And I'm really looking forward to the networking that we can all have this week. So thank you, everyone, for watching. We really appreciate you being our part of our band of people here trying to navigate change in Microsoft's cloud. Again, make sure you give us a thumbs up on this episode, share it out on the socials, and tag us at 365MCS.
Fantastic. See you again next week.